Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu, born the 17th of December 1948, is a Turkish social democrat politician. He is leader of the Republican People's Party and has been leader of the main opposition in Turkey since 2010. He served as a member of parliament for Istanbul's 2nd electoral district from 2002 to 2015 and is an MP for Izmir's 2nd electoral district as of the 7th of June 2015. Before entering politics, Kılıçdaroğlu was a civil servant and served as the president of the Social Insurance Institution from 1992 to 1996 and again from 1997 to 1999. He was elected to Parliament in the 2002 general election and became the CHP's parliamentary group leader. In the 2009 local elections, he was nominated as the CHP candidate for the mayor of Istanbul and lost to the Justice and Development Party with 37% of the vote, where the candidate from the Justice and Development Party got 44.71% of the votes. He was elected deputy chairman of the Socialist International on August 31, 2012, after Deniz Baykal resigned as the party's leader in 2010. Kılıçdaroğlu announced his candidacy and was unanimously elected unopposed as the leader of the CHP. He was seen as likely to breathe new life into the CHP, although his party saw a subsequent increase in its share of the vote. Kılıçdaroğlu has failed to win any elections. Early life. Kılıçdaroğlu was born on December 17, 1948 in Balıko village of Natsimiye district in Tunceli province, eastern Turkey to Kama, her clerk recorder of deeds and his wife Yemiz. He was the fourth of 7 children. His father was among thousands of exiled Alevis following the failed Dersim rebellion. According to Idris Gürsey, his family belonged to the Sepelicula clan of the Kirazan tribe and Zaza origin, but Kılıçdaroğlu said his background is Turkmen. His father changed the family name in the 1950s from originally Karabulut to Kılıçdaroğlu since all the people in the village they lived in had the same family name. Kemal continued his primary and secondary education in various places like Ursus, Tunceli, Genc in Elazig. He was educated in economics at the Ankara Academy of Economics and Commercial Sciences, from which he graduated in 1971. During his youth days, he earned his living by selling goods. Professional career. After university, Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu entered the Ministry of Finance as a junior accounts specialist in 1971. He was later promoted to accountant and was sent to France for additional professional training. In 1983, he was appointed Deputy Director General of the Revenues Department in the same ministry. At that time he worked closely with Prime Minister Turgut Özal. In 1991, Kılıçdaroğlu became Director General of the Social Security Organization for Artisans and Self-Employed. The following year he was appointed Director General of the Social Security Organization. In 1994, Kılıçdaroğlu was named Civil Servant of the Year by the weekly periodical Economic Trend. Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu retired from the Social Security Organization in January 1999. Kılıçdaroğlu taught at the Hacettepe University and chaired the Specialized Commission on the Informal Economy within the framework of the preparation of the 8th Five-Year Development Plan. He also acted as a member of the executive board of his bank. Early political career. Member of Parliament, he retired from bureaucracy in 1999 and tried to enter politics from within Bülent Ecevit's Democratic Left Party. Kılıçdaroğlu was often referred to as the star of the DSP. It was claimed that he would be a DSP candidate in the upcoming 1999 general election. However, he did not succeed in this venture, though, as he could not get on the party's candidates list. Instead, during his chairmanship of an association that aimed to protect citizens' tax payments, he was invited by the leader of the CHP Deniz Baykal to join his party. Kılıçdaroğlu accepted the invitation. Following the 2002 general election, he entered the parliament as a deputy from Istanbul. In the 2007 general election, he was re-elected to parliament. He became deputy speaker of his party's parliamentary group. Kılıçdaroğlu's efforts to uncover malpractice among high-ranking Justice and Development Party politicians carried him to headlines in the Turkish media. Two deputy chairmen of the ruling AKP, Sabancı and Demir Mehmet Ferhat, resigned from their respective positions in the party following television debates with Kılıçdaroğlu. Furthermore, he publicly accused the AKP-affiliated mayor of Ankara, Melik Gökçek, of complicity in a corruption scandal relating to the Deniz Feneri charity based in Germany. 2009 Istanbul mayoral candidate Kılıçdaroğlu was announced as the CHP's mayoral candidate for the 2009 local elections by the party leader Deniz Baykal on the 22nd of January 2009. Kılıçdaroğlu announced that he would run his campaign based on clean politics, vowing to open cases of corruption against the serving incumbent AKP Mayor Kadir Topbaş. Claiming that he would work for the workers of Istanbul, he also challenged Topbaş to a televised live debate. In the election, Kılıçdaroğlu was beaten by Topbaş with 37% of the votes to Topbaş's 44.7%. Election to the CHP leadership. Longtime leader of the CHP, Deniz Baykal, resigned on May 10, 2010 following a videotape scandal. Kılıçdaroğlu announced his candidacy for the position on May 17, 5 days before an upcoming party convention. According to reports, the party was divided over the leadership issue, with its central executive board insisting that Baykal retake the position. But after Kılıçdaroğlu received the support of 77 of his party's 81 provincial chairpersons, Baykal decided not to run for re-election. For a candidacy to become official, CHP bylaws require the support of 20% of convention delegates. At the party convention, which started on May 22, 2010, Kılıçdaroğlu's candidacy received the signatures of 1,246 out of the 1,250 delegates, which set a new record for the CHP. In view of this overwhelming support, the Presidium of the party convention decided to move the election, initially scheduled for Sunday, forward to Saturday. As now expected, Kılıçdaroğlu was elected as party chairman. The election was unanimous, with 1,189 votes. Leader of the opposition, Kılıçdaroğlu took office as the leader of the main opposition on the 22nd of May 2010 by virtue of leading the second largest political party in the Grand National Assembly. Many media commentators and speculators predicted that Kılıçdaroğlu would breathe new life into the CHP after consecutive election defeats under Baykal's leadership. 2010 constitutional referendum. Kılıçdaroğlu's first campaign as the CHP leader was the constitutional referendum held on the 12th of September 2010. Although the initial voting process in Parliament had begun under Baykal's leadership, Kılıçdaroğlu employed a tactic of boycotting the parliamentary process. Since a constitutional reform proposal required 330 votes to be sent to a referendum, the parliamentary approval of all of the government's constitutional reforms was mathematically possible regardless of how the CHP voted. Thus, the AKP CHP's proposed constitutional reforms, which included changes to the Turkish judiciary, were sent for approval in a referendum on 12 September 2010. Kılıçdaroğlu not only campaigned for a no vote against the proposals, but also sent the parliamentary voting process to court over alleged technical irregularities. The CHP subsequently sent the proposals to court over alleged violations of the separation of powers in the proposed changes. The Constitutional Court eventually ruled against the CHP. Kılıçdaroğlu, along with members of minor opposition parties, argued that the proposed changes are an attempt to politicize the judiciary and further increase the control of the AKP over neutral state institutions. The referendum proposals were nonetheless accepted by 57.9% of voters, with 42.1% voting against. 2011 general election. The 2011 general election was the first general election in which Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu participated as the leader of Republican People's Party. The former CHP leader Deniz Baykal resigned from his post in May 2010 and left the CHP with 26% of the votes, according to opinion polls. Kılıçdaroğlu announced that he would resign from his post if he was not successful in the 2011 elections. He did not provide details as to what his criteria for success were. Over 3,500 people applied to run for the main opposition party in the June elections. Male candidates paid 3,000 Turkish liras to submit an application. Female candidates paid 2,000, while those with disabilities paid 500 liras. Among the candidates were former CHP leader Deniz Baykal and arrested Ergenekon suspects such as Mustafa Balbay and Mehmet Habral. The party held primary elections in 29 provinces, making a clean break with the past. Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu left his mark on the Republican People's Party's 435 candidate list, leaving off 78 current deputies as he sought to redefine and reposition the main opposition. The CHP's candidate list also included 11 politicians who were formerly part of center-right parties, such as the Motherland Party, the True Path Party and the Turkey Party. Center-right voters gravitated toward the AKP when these other parties virtually collapsed after the 2002 elections. Key party figures that did not make it onto the list criticized the CHP for making a shift in access. June 2015 general election. The June 2015 general election was the second general election which Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu participated as the leader of. CHP. The party won 11.5 million votes and finished with 132 elected members of parliament, a decrease of 3 since the 2011 general election. The party also suffered a decrease of 1.03% compared to the 2011 result, which was attributed to CHP voters voting tactically for the People's Democratic Party to ensure that they surpassed the 10% election threshold. No opinion poll showed the CHP ahead of the AKP between 2011 and 2015. Family life. Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu married Selvi Gündüz in 1974. The couple has a son, Karim, 2 daughters, Asli and Zeynep, and a granddaughter from Asli's marriage. Some journals denoted his Alevi identity. However, Kılıçdaroğlu didn't make a statement about his religious belief for a long time. In July 2011, he said, "I always refused to do politics on ethnic identities and religion. I am an Alevi. Since when is it a crime to be Alevi in this country?"